How's it going, guys? Here we are. Now we take the story, go through the story of the Series 2. Okay, the Series 2 Land Rover. Okay, I love Land Rovers, I really do. I love them, and my first was the Series 2A, actually Series 2A, 1959 model Series 2A Land Rover Troopy. And they're a car and a half. If you've never driven one, and you want to experience the great outdoors, how it should be done, how it was back in the 60s, how the rough and ready car that goes almost anywhere, get yourself into a seat of a Land Rover. Okay, at worst or at best, if you want to do something a bit more new, go to the Defender. Okay, which is the newer version of the old series, Troopy series. And you'll get a bit of an experience of what the older Land Rovers were like. But they're you either love them or you hate them. Okay, they've got a lot of maintenance issues. They've got a lot of things you need to do to keep them on the road. But then again, what car doesn't? The one thing you can say about the Land Rovers is they're made for roving over land, and you don't need to buy any extras to go do it. Straight out of the shop, you can go four-wheel driving anywhere in the country.
Not this one.
Okay. Not that one. Yeah, they have there's a few issues with the Series 2. Okay, the Series 2A, the Series 2 upgrade of the Disco fixed a lot of the issues that they changed from the Series 1 to the Series 2. So from that Series 1 there to the Series 2, they made a few changes. One is the gearbox. This one, weird and wonderfully, the Series, the Series 1, all your gearing, so you can change into low gears and everything in your four-wheel drive, all your locks and everything are in the cab. This one here, they took one of the levers away. One of the gears away. It's still there, but you have to get under the car with a shifting spanner to push it into the four-wheel drive lock. That's a bit hard to do when you're 3 feet of mud, I can tell you. Alright, so you have to have it in gear before you go into the mud, because if you go into the mud and you don't have it in gear, you're not coming out. Where the Series, this one here, you can see on YouTube quite a few times. I've been watching YouTube with the Landies, and yeah, it takes a lot to beat the Land Rover. And most of the case, like whether you have, like I love the Toyotas and the Mercedes and all the rest, but in most cases, the Nissans and Toyotas, you have to spend 15 to 20,000 on extra gear under the running on the drivetrain to get through to go bush, where these things are built to go bush. That's the thing that everybody hates, is you don't have to spend anything on a Land Rover to go bush. So of course, if you spend a bit more, you can make it even better, but they're made to go bush right from the start. And this one, the Lemon, this is the Land Rover Lemon, the Series 2. The upgrade, much better vehicle, but the Series 2, the original one, is a Lemon, because it's the first with the electronics. Okay, when they came across to Australia, if they didn't disconnect the battery, okay, the suspension will be worn out before it got here, because the electronics stay on the whole time trying to adjust the suspension to where you're at. Hey Tim! Excuse me a second. Timothy!
I'll grab him.
Tell the cake. Oh, we're baking a cake at the moment, I can smell it. Check the cake! Sorry about that. I've just been baking a cake with Timothy, so hopefully it's still okay. Alright. Now on to why this thing went wrong. Okay, besides it being a bit of a lemon and the suspension, this has got airbags in the back. And once one of them get a hole in it, you got a problem. They keep on going down. So where this one's got coil springs in the back, that one's got airbags. Give me the coil springs any day of the week. Because the electronics to control the airbags and to keep popping them up all the time and keep it safe and comfy, and it doesn't handle right. It really doesn't. Pop the bonnet, Frank. We'll show you what happened here. This is how Frank killed this one. Frankie again. Frank, that's your fault. It's your fault. You did it. You did it.
It was gonna die anyway.
Yes, I know it was going to die anyway, but I'm blaming you, Eddie. I'm blaming you for it. Okay.
Where do we start looking under this?
Where do we start in the hole? We've got to lift that thing. All right. Tim going after the cake?
Pretty sure.
Hey Tim, is the cake okay? Check the cake. All right. Now, okay, the 5-cylinder BMW engine. I think it's a BMW engine.
From what I read, it gets closely compared to a BMW engine, which is not good.
But BMW owned the vehicle when it was made the Series 2. This was a BMW owned Land Rover. Land Rovers were being built by BMW because they bought Land Rover at the stage they made these. That was still British Land Rover, British Leyland. This is made by BMW. Okay, now they're owned by, who are they? Indian?
Tata,
or whatever they are. Okay, here we are. Here's the plates. Okay, that's what the model is on this one. All right, now the problem you have, just so you people know where the problem is with these 5-cylinder engines, and I didn't know about it, and Frankie didn't know about it. If he did, I would have told him. If I did, I would have told him to make sure to watch out for it. The hassle is that you cannot, and I repeat, on a 5-cylinder diesel, do not spill the oil when you're topping up. Okay, that is what will kill this motor. This motor died because Frankie was topping it up to look after it. And what happens is when you top up the oil and you don't use a funnel, you spill the oil runs down over the side, and this electronic, all the electronics for the glow plugs and the how's the cake?
Good.
It's not burnt?
No.
Still cooking?
No.
Oh, it's out. It's nice brown?
Yeah.
Cool. Looking forward to this cake. All right. All the electrical wiring, the wiring harness goes under the top here, and the oil fills up and gets into the wiring harness. Unfortunately, what happens with that is once the oil's in there, it then corrupts the wire, the electrical flow in the wiring, and destroys all the electronics through there. So it then changes everything that's going on there, and then makes this blaze up. Because the electronics is playing up in there, all those wires are not firing correctly because they're shorting out. It then starts making this thing play up, which is the electronics. And yeah, and from there, the next thing that goes wrong with this vehicle is the oil pump. The oil pump then goes wrong. Now the wonderful thing about this motor, just like in many motors today, they replace steel with plastic. The oil pump, the drive shaft, has a plastic cog on it. And once that plastic cog breaks, no more oil pump. So of course the oil pump played up. And that's, besides the oil going in here and disrupting the electrical flow here and the electronics, and we had to, it's just a mess. Couldn't even get it fixed. It was going to cost way too much. Now threw the cog on the oil pump at the same time, and yeah, that was the end of that engine. Okay, to fix it, to get it running, cost me more than another car. That's the problem with all European vehicles now. That's why they're so cheap to get after this. There's people are having so many hassles keeping them on the road because the cost of maintaining a European vehicle. A lot because they're changing the hard steel for a hard plastic. Now I understand the plastic, yes, is durable, but you know, the cog on an oil pump, why would you change that to plastic? Okay, especially on a diesel. I understand possibly on a petrol, but on a diesel with the torque and the pressure involved inside the engine, to have any plastic parts in there is sort of stupid. No, titanium I understand, but not plastic. Okay, so that's what happened. That's how he killed it. He spilled oil over the top of the engine. It went around into the wiring harness, short-circuited the wires of the wiring harness, which then of course made the cylinders fire in different places because the electronics weren't getting what it needed to make it work properly. And with all the misfiring and the hassles and how old it is, it then blew a cog on the oil pump. And yeah, that's I can come up with some real good words, but I'm not going to. I want to try and keep this family orientated. So that's what happened to it. Otherwise, yeah, in most cases, except for the suspension, the steering not being as good as it should. I don't know. It's got to do with the suspension. It just doesn't want to steer as good as that one does. That one there, wherever you drive it, it went. This one here, no guarantees. Okay, at 80 to 90 k's an hour, yeah, it just too sluggish. It just didn't want to go. The electronics on the suspension didn't want to do what I would like to see it done. So it didn't make me feel safe when I was driving it. But, okay, Frankie, it was your fault. Okay?
Technically, yeah, sort of.
I love you, Frank, but it was your fault. I did the same thing, don't worry about it. But, yeah, that's our Series 2. Okay, the Series 2 Disco, that's the life and death of the Series 2. And we'll let you know more about the Landies as we go along, and we'll do work on that one in a little while. I'll do a video on the Series 2 V8, the Series 1 V8, which is our next car. Okay, thanks, Frank. Drop the bonnet. That's our video for this one. Okay, guys, when you get a chance, that button down there, the thing that says subscribe, do us a favour, hit it for us, will you? And the like button would be great too. Catch you soon. Love yous. Bye.